Hello, all current and future art history students. I'm Scotty Finch, a senior in computer science and engineering at the University of Arkansas. I currently live in Berryville, Arkansas with my wife Crystal. The artwork I'm going to talk about today is the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's about a 45-minute drive from my house. Little background information. The Crescent Hotel was designed and built in the early 1880s by a well-known architect from St. Louis, Isaac Stockton Taylor. Taylor worked in St. Louis under George Ingram Bennett, the foremost architect in Missouri during the late 1800s. The Crescent Hotel's grand opening in 1886 was a huge social event where many prestigious figures came out to dance all night. The building was considered America's most luxurious resort hotel. The dark features and beautiful landscaping gave it the image of a castle in the wilderness. Some people describe the hotel as haunted in relation with its image of being a castle. In 1938, Norman Baker purchased the Crescent Hotel to use as a hospital to cure people from cancer. This turned out to be a giant hoax. The FBI arrested Baker in 1939 and he was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Many cancer patients died within the walls of the Crescent Hotel, which may be a contributing factor in people believing the hotel is haunted. There are only two main shapes used in the design of the building: rectangles and triangles. This seems to express a sense of sturdiness and lack of motion. The overall composition works together though, as the extreme size of the piece and the simplistic design leaves the viewer astonished. The coloring used in the piece is refreshing and complementary. The limestone is a dull yellow, and the texture of the bricks is very rough and uninviting. However, the bright green and beautiful landscaping balances this feeling out very well. Using deconstruction to analyze the artwork, there are a few assumptions that can be questioned about the work. I'm not sure if it's supposed to appear as a castle, although many people have titled it as a castle in the wilderness. It is also very hard to categorize this building into a certain art movement. The architect seemed to blend multiple styles into this work. It can be a good thing, but sometimes too many styles can dilute a work. The Crescent Hotel fits into the Gothic art movement more than any other, although some could make a case for this piece to be considered Romanesque. This can be seen in a sharp roof and the Romanesque windows. The materials used for the walls and roof are similar to the materials used in most Gothic buildings. Another reason the building feels so Gothic is the use of simple shapes, no curves at all used on the building, along with some very sharp points. The building, comparable to a smaller version of the famous Gothic building, the Pope's Palace in Avignon. The Romantic period had just ended at the time of the Crescent Hotel was being built. There was certainly influence of Romanticism in this building. The feeling of the architect who designed this building really shone through, which is the most important characteristic of the Romantic period. The building also had many features from the Romanesque style. There is not much decoration on the outside of the building, much like other Gothic buildings such as the Basilica of Saint Denis in Paris, France. I wanted to do my paper on one of the many beautiful buildings all throughout Eureka Springs. A lot of the buildings were inspired from Victorian art and are very ornate. The Crescent Hotel had such a great history and wasn't right in the middle of downtown like some of the other major buildings in Eureka, such as the Flatiron Building. I like the history behind the building. I had no idea that it was such a famous building throughout America. The different colors from the walls and the roof, and then the bright green just goes together so perfectly. I also have always loved landscaping, which is one of the major reasons I chose this artwork. While this piece is not 100% Gothic, nor is it 100% anything, the mixture of Gothic style along with many other styles and the balance of all aspects of the piece makes me feel this is just an absolute masterpiece.